Hello, welcome back to WebcastNews. Let's get started. And firstly, in the news today, and just recently broken, is that Zayn Malik has announced that he will be leaving One Direction. Now, if you're blissfully unaware of the past 5 years, Zayn Malik was part of the boy band One Direction, and they became bizarrely successful from X Factor, came together as a group, and went worldwide, making teenage girls have some very odd fantasies. I maybe shouldn't have really gone there, should I? That's a bit weird, because they're probably... I'm just going to take that comment back completely. In part of a statement that Zayn gave out, he said, "I'm leaving because I want to be a normal 22-year-old who is able to relax and have some private time out of the spotlight." And then he finished up his statement saying, "I know I have 4 friends for life in Louis, Liam, Harry and Niall." And again, if you're blissfully unaware, that's the other 4 members of One Direction. And then he carried on to say a statement I do not agree with. "I know they will continue to be the best band in the world." Best band in the world? That's a bit of a stretch, mate. And now this leaves One Direction with 4 members, although they are apparently carrying on with the recording for their 5th album. They've only been around 5 years. 5th album? Come on. What? And apparently the dates for their upcoming world tour are remaining the same. So if you're going to see them, don't worry, you just won't see Zayn. And now the reason I mentioned teenage girls earlier is because they are the main fan base for One Direction. And there is something that I thought about with this. A lot of social media has been blowing up with younger people saying how upset they are that Zayn's left and crying over it. But when some real sad news comes up of something that happens in the world that affects a lot more people, they don't care. It's just something I thought about. The question I thought I would throw on this is from Zayn's comment, "Are One Direction the best band in the world?" And if you don't think so and you agree with me that they are not, tell me in the comment section down below who is the best band in the world. And now for some disturbing news from where else in the US but Detroit, where a 35-year-old woman called Michelle Blair was arrested by police yesterday after the bodies of her 11-year-old son and 14-year-old daughter were found in a freezer, and they're believed to have been there in the house for months. Now what makes this worse is that Michelle Blair has 2 other children, aged 11 and 17, who it seems were unaware that their siblings were dead in a freezer. Although it is currently unknown whether the children knew that their brother and sister were in the freezer, and social workers were questioning them yesterday. And they are now in protective custody, if the mother actually did this, because the mother has not yet been charged. She's only been arrested and is being questioned, so it's unknown whether she actually did this. Now the bodies were actually discovered by bailiffs who went to the townhouse to actually evict the Blair family from the house because of a non-payment of rent. They then looked in the freezer when taking things away and found the body of the girl, and then they rang 911, police came and they found the body of the boy in the freezer later on. And this is just such a disturbing story, and thoughts go out to the friends and other family of the 2 children, because if the mother did do this, what kind of twisted, sick mind do you need to do this to your own children? And finally, is just nipping back to news that broke yesterday of the German Airbus A320 plane that crashed in the French Alps, and there are fresh reports on the people who were actually killed in this crash. Now this gets British attention because 3 of the people killed in the plane crash are British, and these being 50-year-old Martin Matthews, 28-year-old Paul Andrew Bramley, and a 7-month-old baby named Julian Prash Bandres, who was born in Manchester but perished alongside her mother, who was actually born in Spain but did live in Britain now, but is classed as a Spanish national. Along with the 3 Brits and 1 Spaniard in this, 72 German nationals were killed, including 16 children and 2 teachers from 1 school in Germany who were returning after an exchange project. 51 Spanish nationals were killed in this, as well as 2 Australians, 2 Americans and 1 Japanese. The black box for the plane was found fairly quickly yesterday, so they will now go through it piece by piece to try and put together how this crash happened, because at current no one knows. And it is another horrible story, because plane crashes do get into the news quite a lot, and it does make it sound like planes do crash a lot, but they really don't if you think about how many flights happen a day and how much it actually gets into the news of a plane crash. So if you are getting on a plane in the near future, don't worry too much. And that is it for today's video, because it has been 3 stories that I've covered a bit more. So I hope you have liked the video. If you have, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And as always, thanks for watching.